So this is point space, a new method for capturing, rendering, and processing the world around us. So if we imagine in computer graphics, we have an axis. And on one side of the axis, we have interactivity, and on the other end of the axis, we have realism. We know how to make things that are highly realistic, but not very interactive. And we see these in films and movies, and computer graphics that look very realistic, but we can't really control them. On the flip side, we know in video games, we have things that are highly interactive, but on the other hand, don't look very realistic. And what we really want is we want the best of both worlds. We want things that are highly interactive and highly realistic. So what we've built is we built a new rendering system that allows for highly complex real-world environments to be rendered highly interactively. Now, oftentimes what happens when we try to render real-world environments is that we have a 3D modeler, and that 3D modeler works and processes, and they have a lot of artistic talent, but it takes a lot of time to make anything that looks very realistic. On the flip side, when we try to capture 3D environments, it oftentimes requires high-end machinery, and the data samples are so complex that we have to downsample them and extract them to render them. And so therefore, real-world spaces cannot be rendered interactively and can't be used for interactive analysis. So what we've done is we built a new rendering engine that allows for complex spaces to be rendered interactively and in real time. Now, traditionally, what people have done is they've created 3D meshes to try to render these type of environments. But once we do that, these 3D meshes are so abstracted that we can't read text, we can't hardly figure out what anything is. And so what oftentimes people do is they use point clouds. And these point clouds can capture details, but the problem is when we try to visualize them, they're so sparse and spread out that oftentimes we can't really see the data and it looks kind of abstracted and not very realistic. So what we've done is we've created a new way to render spaces using volumetric cubes. And these volumetric cubes are able to store and capture at the resolutions that the data was completely processed at. And we've also built a new rendering engine which uses the parallel processing of the GPU to render things highly efficiently and interactively. Now, everything we've done so far has been built in the Unity 3D game engine. Unity is a game engine that's used by game developers and programmers to make video games. But it's also used by people who just want to make interactive content. So anyone who wants to do interactive storytelling, to virtual reality experiences, this is a plugin that fits right into their workflow. Everything we've also done has been completely cross-platform. It runs in VR, it runs on a computer, it runs on a phone. And so in summary, what we've made is the highest fidelity, most immersive interactive experience possible. So thus far, what we've done has been patented by WARF. We have 2 patents currently accepted and a 3rd patent pending. All this research has been funded by a variety of sponsors, and we've had over $3.5 million of research that has come into this project so far. We've had lots of different areas in which we've seen traction in our research. So the first is in capturing spaces for offsite analysis. And this is everything from home environments, to crime scenes, to cultural or historic sites, to shipwrecks. We've also used our techniques to include virtual reality content, and augmented reality content on top of these scans. And we've done this for home modifications, construction, entertainment, and education. And we've also looked at kind of comparing different points in time. So we've done this pre and post a car accident, pre and post a home modification, a building demolition, or even a natural disaster. So the team that we've had working on this has mostly been myself. I'm an associate professor and expert in virtual reality, and Ross Drzenik, who's a staff programmer and a veteran of the gaming industry. So what we're really asking for today are connections into the gaming industry. We're looking for connections with software developers, design studios, and graphics card manufacturers. In the construction and real estate industry, so people who work in building information modeling, architecture and design, and property management. And people who come from the insurance industry, where people might be interested in risk assessment, appraisals, and risk management. This has been Point Space, a new method for capturing, rendering, and processing the world around us.